In this podcast that I had a conversation with Victor Mirack of Personal School of Learning, we talked about the character a leader should have when it comes to leadership in teenagers. Amazing. An eye opener. He totally overwhelmed my expectations. A teenager who is a leader should be empathetic, right? A teenager who is a leader should show respect and so much more that he talked about. He delved deep into leadership qualities that a teenager should have. Endeavor to listen till the very end as a teenager, as a school owner, as a parent, because you're definitely going to learn something that will help your teenager navigate the water and oceans of life. Do have a great time and see you at the other side of it.
Radio, make you talk my pain away. Sweetheart radio.
And definitely you need to stay awake because you need to be awake to get things done. You can't really get anything done when you are asleep. Rather, you need to be awake, except you're sleeping just to rest. But no, you can't be resting because it's still the early part of the year. This is a 20-part show here on Radio Sapienza 95.3 FM Onitsha, original number one. My name is Oma. The 20s, they get to call me Auntie Oma. I am your very sweetheart on radio, TV, social media, sweetheart everywhere. Welcome to yet another edition. Remember I said, if you listened to me last week on the program, I did say that this year, 2025, on 20th Pod Show, we have a target, and that target is to build as many teenagers who own businesses, run businesses, who will become excellent in everything that they are doing. Teenagers that will understand what it means to become leaders. Teenagers that will be armed with that mindset of a leader, that mindset of a positive change maker. We are raising positive change makers here on 20th Pod Show. And once again, welcome. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a phenomenal time from now until 4:30. We'll be having this interesting conversation. And I have with me the CEO of PSL, right? Personal School of Learning. Yes, PSL Services. Talking about Victor Mirack. Good evening. Welcome to the live studios of Radio Sapienza 95.3 FM Onitsha. Victor Mirack, how are you? Good evening.
Pretty good. Good evening, Oma, sweetheart on radio and TV.
Why are you closing your eyes, Victor Mirack?
Because I'm talking about
My goodness! How are you? How was the celebration, the Yuletide celebration? We're here in 2025. How was it?
super good.
Okay.
Super good.
All right. Okay, so Victor Mirack is not he's not new here. He's been coming here, but though it's been quite some time, but we decided to bring him on here because we need to have a very important discussion. And today we are looking at leadership. You know, everything we talk about here, we are talking to teenagers, we are talking to their parents, we are talking to school owners, we are talking to everyone that's involved in raising a teenager, raising the young generation. So Victor Mirack, we are looking at leadership, the character a leader should have, you know, when it comes to teenagers, right? Now let's look at the character a leader should have as regards teenagers. First of all, who is a leader? And when we are talking about leadership, we are looking at how it concerns teenagers. Who is a leader?
Okay, thank you very much, Lady Oma. Leadership topic is a broad one, very broad. You can't exhaust it in a year and even more than a year. Okay, so we're just trying to tailor it or streamline it to the student or teenagers level. Okay, so in a simple term, we can say that leadership for teenagers is all about management.
Okay.
Why I didn't just say leadership is influence, I have to add the two of them. Leadership is management through influence.
Okay.
Why I said management is because most people think that why you are called a leader is just to lead people. Now, leadership goes beyond leading. It gets to management. So when we talk about management, we are talking about being able to manage both living things and non-living things. In other words, leadership is management of living things and non-living things. In other words, things that are within the environment, both living and non-living. Why I said that is so that to channel the minds of these teenagers to know that leadership goes around what is in their environment. For instance, observing how your environment is, ensuring that you set order in the environment so that it can enhance the living of human beings, right? So that's why I said it is management.
Okay.
It has to do with observing your environment and also the human beings around you. So for any teenager looking at the school system, because 98% of teenagers are in school.
Yeah,
so looking at school system, when we talk about leadership, it's all about students being able to manage the students in the school, manage the environment of the school setting. That is actually leadership. And for you to be able to do that, you must first of all be able to influence your own self. Because you cannot lead others until you have led yourself. That's why I said in my own leadership structure, I say leadership has two arms. One is the corporate leadership, and the other one is the personal leadership. Corporate leadership has to do with people-centered leadership, and then personal leadership has to do with self-leadership. So you need to first of all be able to manage yourself, influence yourself. Then the reflection of the influence is what people see, and then they get to get.
I wanted to ask you, what are the characters of a leader? But you just said something that struck me. That as a teenager needs to manage him or herself, influence him or herself. And I'm just wondering, a teenager is curious. How can a teenager manage him or herself? How can a teenager influence him or herself? I need you to give us practical examples.
Now, at the level of teenagers, they may not be able to take such decisions. Hence the reason I want to speak to school authority, school management, parents, because they are the formators. In fact, you cannot categorically say that a teenager has this upper hand in influencing or leading himself or herself at that level. Hence the reason we're looking at what are the formators, parents, guardians, and school management doing to help these people. So now when we talk about influencing themselves, it begins from the structure set by the school system, structure set by family system. So to every parent, to every guardian, if we want to get this leadership from the grassroots, please let's move into the school system. What are the systems and structures? What are the orders placed in the school that will help to guard the students? Because for them to come up, for them to have their leadership traits built up, they need to have an already existing right systems and structures set by the school. So when the students comes in, when the teenagers comes in, they align themselves. That is in fact the basic, the foundation of building leadership traits in a teenager. But when you come to a school system where there is no strong or robust system and structure that will check behavioral system, check cognitive or learning system, check leadership system, and the rest of other systems, you discover that a child comes in and just does anyhow. So if we want to get it right, we need to begin to look at each school. What are the systems you have set in school that a child comes in and fit in? Because the reason systems are set is so that it will remove the things that's not supposed to be and then keep the things that's supposed to be. So everyone that is coming into the system is aligning with it. And when you align with something within a long period of time, you get used to it. So leadership trait tends to form when something has been done from the basic. I'm talking about the school system. That's why we are going around trying to see how can we actually set a leadership system where school, which are the formators, knows what to put in, so that a child comes in and say, this is what is already existing here, and this will channel me to the right path. It will help my behavior, it will help the way I study, it will help the way I collaborate. So when based on the question you asked, a teenager may not at this level be able to take that self-leadership to a larger extent. It only begins with the systems and structures set by school, where they are every day, and the system and structure set by the family where they are coming from. So with this, it will now help the child
which
to
makes
give the person
which
a break.
actually makes the family very important,
Very, very important.
and makes the school also a key stakeholder in the life
As a matter
of
of
the
fact,
teenager.
as a matter of fact, a system is an assemblage of different functions. So if a leadership will be built, leadership threat, positive leadership threat will be built, it will start from these systems. Just like I said, that a system is set to remove what is not supposed to be and to keep what's supposed to be. So when a child comes in and feels that this school has no rule, there's no order, there's no set things, everybody will just be behaving the way they are. But when you come to a system and you discover that no, you can't do this in here. There's a way we behave here. There's a way we talk here. There are things that are not permitted here. It forms in you. 6 years in school, it forms. 3 years in school, it forms. And then when you are going out with that same mindset. That is the formative stage.
Amazing. All right, now, what kind of character? Let's look at the character a leader should have. Character that a leader should imbibe. Remember, we're talking to teenagers. What are these characters that they should imbibe as a young leader?
Okay, first of all, every teenager should have this first character, and that is the character of adhering strictly to rules.
Okay. Young people don't like rules and regulations.
That's the issue.
Gen Z.
That's why I have to pick it first.
They don't like
That's
rules
why
and
I have to
regulations.
pick it first, because I don't want to jump and get others. Let's get it right. You must learn to adhere strictly to the order of the system you came in. Because sometimes we came from a family where there are no solid systems and structures that guides our behavior, that guides our attitude. So when you come to a school, that's why parents should be careful of the schools they send their schools to. You should check all these things before you send them. So when they now come in and they discover in this school you don't insult your teacher, in this school you don't neglect the school functionaries, in this school you don't even abuse your fellow classmates. In fact, in one of the schools that we are running training for, a teacher picked offense on 2 students, rebuked them, gave them punishment. When I was passing, I said, what happened? She said, is it because this girl is new in this school? Is that the reason you people are just treating her that way? I picked that. It caught my attention. I went and I even had to add extra punishment on those students. Why? Because I want them to know that, hey, you must respect everybody. Whether they're intelligent, whether they're beautiful, whether they're handsome or not, whether their parents are rich or not, you must have that level of respect. That is an order set in the school. Everybody, you don't devalue people. You value everybody, no matter their race. So the first that we should think when that has to do with character is respect. You must grow to the point that you respect everybody. Everybody. See, whether you are older than the person or not, everybody has their respect. That's the truth about it. So that is the first character that every teenager should have. But it begins from what the school sets in. If you come to a school where they don't even give a damn to this, where they don't even have a system of, in this school there is a behavioral system, you must learn it. In fact, man, let me tell you, schools, the first I wish everybody send me, the first week of your school should not be to teach subjects. It should be to teach leadership. In fact, it should be to teach, to reaffirm the vision of the school, reaffirm the constitution of the school if there is anyone, reaffirm the orders in the school, so that it will come afresh in the minds of the students, and they will see the punishment that is there. And then you now need to also teach about goal setting. Of course, I know we're still going to touch about that. Okay, these things are very, very important. So the first is respect.
Okay,
training the child to know that you have to adhere to the rules and regulations and keep to the instruction of the school. That's the first that we should think of. Then the second one is that we should build the training on is on empathy. Empathy system.
Good.
Empathy has to do with having feeling for someone. The way a person is going through something, you feel for the person, and then you are looking for the best way to help the person stand. That is one trait, one character every leader should have. In fact, a parent was talking to me today. She said, why I love a particular school is because the owner of the school has this heart of empathy. See, the way she opens her heart for the parents, the way she cares for even the poor. So she felt belonged. So in leadership, when the masses discovers that you feel for them, and not only that you feel for them, and you're looking for the best way to help them stand, they will definitely love you. That is one thing that is lacking in leadership. So every child should have the character of empathy, being this compassionate. Even when we go through the scriptures, the Bible said, and Jesus saw the multitude and he had compassion on them. That is one leader that everybody is looking out for. And so every student should learn that act of compassion. Somebody is not doing well in school, you are helping the person.
Instead of calling him Olodo or making fun of him or her.
Don't talk down on the person. Because I used to teach in my cognitive trainings for schools. I used to tell students that psychologically, when you teach somebody, you know better. So it is an advantage when you see somebody that doesn't know. Rejoice, because the person will be a specimen for you. The more you impact the person, the more you know that thing better. So that empathy should be there. Somebody is sick, you try to say, okay, how can I help to cover you up? What do I do to help you? Have you taken your drugs? Trying to show that thing, help the person to even heal. Okay, so number 2 is that empathy, which is very, very important. Then number 3 is collaboration, teamwork. Every teenager should start learning on time how to build collaborations. If you are giving something, learn how to say, okay, come, concerning this matter, how do we get it done? We know that you can get it done. See, one of the ways I test leaders is that I can give you a task and watch you. If you do that task alone, I'm not saying it's not good, but it will be more perfect and show leadership prowess that you are able to call people together and say, okay, concerning this matter, how do we get to achieve this? Why? You are trying to test, you're trying to help the person think. You're trying to help the person know that I belong in this system. And then you give the person task. Okay, you do this one. Okay, you do this one. You're going to submit this now. At the end of this, you're going to submit this. Please make sure that you get a proper result on this. You make sure you get proper result on this. And then we'll come together to check it. When I see that, I see someone who can carry other people along. So every child, every teenager should be taught on that particular point. How to collaborate, how to share vision, how to share task. And then supervise the task. Very, very important. Then another character a student should have is the ability to manage pressure.
Okay.
Ability to manage pressure. Now, most times pressure can come from teachers. Most time pressure can come from school authority. Most time pressure can even come from your class. But have you been able to develop that tenacity? Have you been able to develop that resilience? That when the pressure comes, you know how to go about it. You know how to manage it. It is very key. Because this is why most people resort to introversy. Low self-esteem arises. Somebody is feeling, I don't belong here. The way they shouted at me, the way they did this. Most times, teachers may not speak to you in a like manner. But you must develop that personal ability that no matter what is said to me, I have to absorb it and keep going. I was talking to a teenager yesterday who felt that they speak down on her and something like that. I told her, everybody have their mouth to speak. Leave them, let them talk. Mouth is meant to be used to talk. If you don't talk, it will smell. So when somebody talks, what do you learn from what somebody says? Is this. Number 1, this thing this person said, is it true? If it is true, no problem. If it is not true, neglect it. Allow the person to be until the person finds out the truth. If you continue to press and pressure yourself, you will go down the drain. And at the end of the day, you will be under pressure. So ability to manage pressure is necessary. Then another one I'm going to say, which is last one because of our time, is your every teenager should learn the ability to manage conflict.
Okay. Good.
Conflict management. And also ability to manage disappointment.
Okay.
Because most times you set a task, a target, a goal, and then you were not able to reach to that goal. It used to kill the morale of most teenagers. They feel that since I could not be able to do that, they will just relent. But these things need to be taught to them. That's why I said formators, which are teachers, school owners, should learn these things. They should employ external bodies to run trainings on teachers on this. So teachers will move to the classrooms and begin to teach these things. It is not all about teaching subjects.
True.
You need to begin to go through these things and help these students. Most of them gave up because they felt they are not accepted.
Yeah.
Most of them gave up because the teacher called them Olodo. Most of them gave up because the teacher felt these are the people that are intelligent, so other people, you push them aside. It kills their vibe. They may not be able to go back to study. Alright? So they need to be taught on that. That's why I say they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to stop at
Yeah, honestly, if I allow you, keep talking. Okay, but anyways, you just talked about training. Let's look at the leadership training program that you have for secondary school functionaries, which the personal
School of Learning.
PSL, Personal School of Learning, is putting together for some secondary schools in key towns. Let's talk about it. Can you tell us more about the leadership training you are putting together?
So the leadership training, if the tag or the theme for the leadership training is beyond school walls.
Okay.
Now, why did we say beyond school walls? Is because what is within school walls is just the subject, physics, chemistry, maths, civic. But beyond school walls is that beyond the A's you got, beyond the B's you got, beyond that excellent result, do you have the ability to lead within and outside school? That is why we say it is beyond school walls. We want to begin to introduce leadership training courses that are 50% practical and 50% theoretical. In fact, in the training program, we are going to have a leadership exhibition where you are subjected under practical issue happening and you are expected to solve the problem. When you are able to solve it, is awesome. So leadership training program is designed for school functionaries.
Okay.
Because we discovered that most schools, in fact, 90% of schools just select school prefects, talk to them that day, and that's all.
And leave them.
And they will not go ahead to lead what they are not even aware of. So we now felt, no, if we continue like this, these people will finish secondary school, enter university.
That's why we keep having bullies around. That's why we keep having bullies upon bullies upon bullies.
That's why, in fact, part of the training program in that course is to train them on why they are leaders.
Yeah.
You are not a leader to bully. You are not a leader to even showcase your position.
Yeah.
In fact, the first call of leadership is service. You are called to serve others. So when their mindset begin to change on this, it helps. And even this training will still organize the one for teachers and school management because they have a role to play. They have a role to play. So the leadership training program, we designed it so that we can use it to train this. In fact, in that training, that's where we train on that behavioral system.
How many schools are involved in this?
In this, for now, we just want to do a pilot. We are launching out for the first time. So we are giving IV to schools who we register. So in particular, so for instance, within Mbo, Omoba, Obosi, we are just picking 5 schools. Okay. Then Trey side, 5 schools. GRA side, 5 schools. Inewi Oba, 5 schools. Then Anambra East, I think that Utwacha side, 5 schools. So the schools that are interested and want to develop their students far beyond what they used to know, because the courses we have, they are very, very robust. So those schools that registers will now have an upper hand in training. Now look at the modality of the training. It is very important. The training is just for 20 schools. For the first one we are doing now, just for 20 schools. So now there are benefits, because with this training, schools are to have this opportunity for international competitions and exhibitions. We will link them up to that and then have them register for it. It's a way of bringing the school to limelight. Alright? And then there is also benefit in the area of those students that are going to be exceptional, because certainly we are going to pick about 30 to 40 students from all the schools that will be exceptional in leadership. And then we have our partners that will train them on a special course that are being paid for. And they will have opportunity for grants, they have opportunity for scholarships and stuff like that. So it is a training that we don't just want to come and talk. That's why it's a 2-day stop. We don't just want to come and talk. We train, we then supervise. Because each school we enter, each school that registers, we will have to pick volunteers, teacher volunteers, who will help to supervise while our external supervisor comes. So the program is just designed to help and empower school functionaries to begin from the scratch to know what leadership is, what leadership is not, what they're expected to do within school. For instance, conflict management is very important for students to know. How do you manage conflict
instead of fighting and getting physical?
How do you sit down to address it? If you can be able to solve that problem, when you get to university, you can solve the one in university. When you go outside the university, you can solve the one outside. You can even solve the one in your home. Very important.
You know, leadership is one area that we tend to neglect without knowing that it's really, really important.
Very true.
We just have just 2 minutes out of the program. While wrapping up the program, I want you to talk directly to a teenager. The need why they should take more seriously leadership characters and traits.
Every teenager, I will advise you, because what actually brings you up in life is charisma, but character sustains you.
Yeah, true.
So, what will it profit you that you are gifted in a particular thing, and then everybody sees you? You now appear in the limelight, and character
Flaws you.
So, the importance is that start now. You build yourself. Learn, study the books you need to study, be under mentorship and coaches that will help you, and then see yourself fly. There are teenagers that are trained. If you see them, you will know. When they do things, you'll be like, wow. It is because they have been under tutorship of someone. So I want to encourage teenagers. If your school is not giving you a system for that, please, if you can subscribe to any system that can help you, you can browse through the internet, learn things that will develop you personally. That is my advice to you. It is very important, because it will definitely help to keep you going. The organizational Facebook, Personal School of Learning.
PSL.
Personal School of Learning.
On Facebook, right?
Yes,
Personal School of Learning on Facebook. Are you on YouTube?
Sure. Victor
What's
Mirack.
the name? Victor Mirack. Can you spell the Mirack?
Mirack.
Okay, please kindly follow Victor Mirack on YouTube and follow Personal School of Learning on Facebook to get more on these tips and leadership training tips. Thank you so much, Victor Mirack. Thank you for coming through. You overwhelmed my expectations, and I believe all the teenagers that listened, parents, school owners, learned so much from the conversation we just had. And we look forward to a time where we are going to have to start the leadership training in full, the program for the secondary school functionaries. My name is Oma. You're very sweetheart on radio, TV, social media, sweetheart everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us, and do have a great time.
She too fine. She gets stars. Her voice now dies. My baby, you're my sweetheart on radio. You